We are here with Father Ryan and Father Robert. It's Thursday for Catholic Schools Week, and today we are thankful for vocations. So, what better way to talk about vocations?
Vacations, I like that.
I think I need a vacation. But anyway, what better way to talk about vocations than our priests for St. John Fenton. So, Father Robert, Father Ryan, we have some questions from our students.
Okay.
And I am representing all of our grades right now, and I'll sift through the questions. We got a whole stack of them.
We're gonna do all of them?
No, we're
Maybe we
not.
should
We'll
do
be here
take them all
10
day.
hours.
Good. That's
Maybe
a
12.
great day.
All right, so one common question coming from most grades is, why did you become a priest?
You start.
Well, thank you. Ever since middle school, actually younger than that, maybe 5th grade, I just thought about being a priest, and then I would want to be something else. A fireman, a cowboy, an accountant. Oh wait. And it just kept coming back to me every time I wanted to choose something else. God just let me know that He wanted me to at least give it a try.
For me, it was because I love Jesus. That's the short answer. But it took me a long time to figure that out. Really, it did. When I was a kid, I don't know, we started serving at St. Paul's in Owasso, I want to say in 4th grade. So it was altar serving that drew me into the Mass. Father Kolinsky was our pastor, and when he was saying Mass and I was serving, I was just kind of in awe of everything that went into that. But then later on, as I went to high school and college, made some mistakes, not proud of it, but looking back, I can see where the Lord was working in my life. And it was maybe, I'm gonna say 5-6 years after having graduated college that I entered seminary, because maybe 3 years prior to that, just having a reversion, I guess is the word we use now. Just coming back to the faith, getting back into Mass, getting back into confession, learning how to pray again, which is super important. So that's kind of my story briefly.
All right. And a follow-up to that question coming from Mrs. Whitney's 4th grade class: how long does it take to become a priest, especially for our diocesan priests?
Well, I went through and they had been shifting programs, so since I already had a degree, it took me 5 years in the seminary. But the year before that, it took 6 years, and the year after that, it took 6 years.
I got gypped because I had a degree like Father Robert, and it took me 6 years. I would say minimum 8 if you don't have a degree, but I think it can vary because sometimes guys take a year or two off just to figure things out. So I'd say it depends on the guy.
When you say you had a degree, you had, after high school, you went and got a 4-year bachelor's kind of thing? Okay.
I did too.
So minimum of 8 for those who don't have a 4-year college degree.
For the extra special 5.
And for, yes, those quick ones.
So that entire time, were you studying the entire time? Did you get opportunities to go to parishes to do I'm forgetting the word.
Internships?
Internships. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
That changes every few years in the seminary.
Yeah.
Before me, they would spend a year in a parish as part of their education, and then by the time I got there, it was probably 1 semester in the summer, and that was part of our education. And we had most of our summers off where we could work in parishes or stay in parishes, but we didn't have to.
Yeah, I think it depends who's in charge, to be honest, what their methodology or what their philosophy is in education. I only did a summer internship But the funny thing is, there's nothing going on in the parishes in the summer, so we don't really see anything. I think doing a year-long internship might be beneficial for some to get a feel for what parish life is like. I might have changed my mind.
You did your internship here. I'm surprised.
Now, from Mrs. Farrell's 5th grade, if you weren't a priest, what would you consider being as a job?
Well, I would probably be an accountant because that's what my 4-year degree is in. Or, I don't know, I'd probably get into something with building, construction, management, something like that.
I can see that. I would be an accountant because my degree is in accounting, and I worked 6 years in public accounting with the state of Michigan at the Auditor General's office. So I would probably just ask for my whole job back.
Wait a minute. Also looking at 5th grade, just staying in the line of questions. Does God not like it when I skip Mass?
Yes, he does not like it when you skip Mass. He still loves us, but when we skip Mass, he's sad for us because we're hurting ourselves. It's kind of like if, you choose to, I don't know, go play at a friend's house and miss your parents' anniversary party or something like that. He's trying to he's inviting you to a big celebration and you're choosing something less. And that's not good for you, it's not good for anyone.
Yeah, I would say God doesn't like it when we miss Mass. It's the 3rd commandment, remember to keep holy the Sabbath. And I don't know if anybody, I hope the families are watching or listening to the podcast with Father Mike Schmitz through Ascension Press. It's the #1 podcast for, I think, 18 days in a row on Apple Podcasts.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing. And we're going through, now we're in the book of Exodus. And Exodus is all about leaving slavery and bondage to enter into worship, to worship the Lord. 10 times Moses tells Pharaoh, we need to go to worship the Lord. So worship was very important from the very beginning. And I hope, is still important for all of us. So I encourage our families to get to Sunday Mass.
Very good. There's a lot of Mass questions, so I'll stay with the theme. So what is, for both Father Ryan and Father Robert, what is your favorite day to say Mass? I'm trying to figure.
My day off.
Interpret the question as you will. What is your favorite day to say Mass on?
I would think Sunday. Saturday night, I see that more as practice for the homily. And then Sunday, it might, sometimes it's better, sometimes it's not. But once I get through the homily, I can enjoy Mass. I'm an introvert and I don't like speaking in front of people.
I have to agree with Father Robert though. Saturday, I have bombed some homilies on Saturday night because
Tell
it's
me
always
about it.
I'm kidding. I know it's okay. I get emails. Second time, and it's horrible the 3rd time. My favorite day to say Mass, I think it depends. If you're talking is kind of regular, Sunday, obviously, but my favorite is Christmas. I love saying Christmas Mass. I'll get all excited for how the church is decorated. I think Christmas is awesome. I wish it was normal this last year. Hopefully it'll be normal this next year.
I was going to do a follow-up to that question too, because the favorite day. But what is your favorite Mass, whether throughout the liturgical season? So you said
Christmas, yeah.
Father Robert?
Well, I like things to be brief, but my favorite Mass is the longest one, Easter Vigil.
Yes.
I like the fire. I like especially the adults that are entering the church and their excitement, and even when they're nervous, it just shows their excitement and their love of God.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It'd be really exciting if the church ever got burned down because of the fire.
well, we've got insurance.
No, we can do that outside.
I like the fire in the balcony.
Yeah.
I was trying to cover you.
Oh boy. So I think this is from 8th grade. Why do we kneel before we go into the pews in our church?
Well, as I'm sure most are aware, Jesus is in the tabernacle. When we have Mass, we reserve Jesus so that we can take him communion to the shut-ins and people who are sick. And so in the tabernacle, Jesus is there. So it's our way of showing respect by either genuflecting or bowing. It also reminds us that we need to know, going in and out of church is not just like going in and out of a store. It's so it's more than a habit. It's a recognition of Jesus' presence. I do have a funny story about this though. Sometimes it does become a habit, and you stop thinking. And one time in the seminary, a bunch of us were going to a movie, and as we were walking in the pew, the first one genuflected. It wasn't a pew, it was the seats in the theater. And like 3 or 4 did it before we realized that, hey, wait a second, we're not in church.
Or maybe it was just that good of a movie, Father.
It couldn't have been that good of a movie.
What movie was it?
I don't remember.
I'm trying to put you on the spot.
Someone talked through it that morning, I remember that.
Yeah, I would just agree with Father Robert. We genuflect out of a sign of reverence for Jesus being present in the tabernacle. But I think Father Robert brings a really good point up that I think we've kind of lost the sense of the sacred to a certain degree. I mean, our churches, if we read the Bible and understand the Old Testament, our churches are really set up just like the temple would have been set up, with an altar and a tabernacle and a chair. And that would have been what we call the Holy of Holies, and only the priest would enter into the Holy of Holies. I think we kind of lose that sense of sacredness, or we have, for whatever reason, and genuflecting, if we're conscious about what we're doing, kind of brings that sense of sacred back.
All right. Let's see.
What are the easy questions coming?
I thought that was an easy one.
Not at my IQ.
Okay, so, all right, Father Ryan, this is from 2nd grade.
Yes, my level.
What's your favorite food?
Pizza. I love pizza. Pepperoni and bacon. Very healthy, as you can tell.
Does pineapple belong in a pizza?
Absolutely, Hawaiian pineapple is great.
No.
Yes.
Neither
Pineapple and bacon, amazing.
No.
Pineapple and ham, amazing.
Sausage and mushroom is the best.
There you go. And from Fenton, what's your favorite place to
You're
go?
setting us up, man.
I'm just
Setting us
wondering.
up, man.
Because I got my favorite pizza place, but
Well, what's yours?
my favorite pizza.
See, yeah.
I mean, I love a Legends pizza. I love Johnny's Pizza. I love Fenton House.
Fenton House, Johnny's, Legends.
I love pizzas, so-
I'm just saying, I haven't met a pizza I don't like.
I will say I like the locals better than I like going to the chains.
Right.
I thought everybody thinks that, but I do like the locals. So I'd go with Johnny's Pizza House or Fenton House.
Yep. There we go. That was easy for you, Father Ryan.
I
Just
I don't know.
for you.
I felt like I was getting set up.
Oh. Here's a good one. Oh, we'll stay in 2nd grade. Does heaven float around? So where is heaven?
That's What? This is a second grade
Right.
question?
It's a second
Are you
grade,
sure?
yes, from
See?
second grade.
I would say that heaven is both a place and a state. We have to remember that God is outside of time. Now, this is gonna, I don't know how that second, this is gonna be really hard to understand.
Yeah, because when you say state, they
State
say Michigan.
No, I don't. It's think of like a geographical, but state meaning like my state in life, or oh boy, I wasn't planning on this deep of a theological question. But a place is like geography. State is like being, like my just like being. My state is a human being.
Okay.
So heaven is a place, and it's a state, or the state of being in the presence of God. But you know, Father and I were actually kind of having this conversation in the living room a couple of days ago. This kind of gets into what we call speculative theology. That's the word speculative, meaning some of this is really mysterious. God does reveal Himself. But we still speculate as to how things are going to be or might be when we don't really. I've never been to heaven. I want to get to heaven. So we're kind of getting into what I'm trying to say long-windedly is I don't know.
Right, but it's with second grade, and Father, I didn't mean to cut you off, Father Robert, but I must be something that we're learning in Mrs. Silzano's class, because it's a whole line of question. Who is in heaven? Where is heaven? Are there clouds in heaven? Does it rain in heaven? Where do you live in heaven? Is there water in heaven? What do you do in heaven? Do bad things happen in heaven? Is there food in heaven? So
Well, bad things can't happen in heaven because God can't abide sin. So heaven will be a state. There's that word, right? State of perfection. We will be perfect in heaven. And you know, Monsignor Pope, who's a priest in the Archdiocese of Washington, D.C., he says we're even going to look differently in heaven because Jesus has a glorified body, and because we're going to be purged of all of our evil inclinations and sinfulness. We're going to look. I might not even recognize you.
Oh,
I don't know.
well, so I won't be wearing any Michigan gear.
I am.
And you won't be in that sweatshirt.
I will.
That Sparty sweatshirt.
I will be at least 40 pounds lighter.
We know that there is something to be in a place because we'll have bodies in heaven. Jesus has a body in heaven. Mary has a body in heaven. So we have to be somewhere, but we just know it's going to be with God. And whether that's on a cloud floating around or, we'll find out when we die.
Yeah. All right, we'll take it away.
I'm sweating here, man.
Yeah, I can tell. Well, maybe we could start a Q&A series just for the school or something that we have specific topics that we could go into, not some like I'm just pulling stuff from all these questions.
Yeah.
But here we go. We'll pare it down. We'll take it back a little.
I like the
bit.
pizza question.
I know. I did too. I'm hungry now. For both, how many siblings do you have, and what was life like for you growing up?
No, my parents can't watch this now. I'll let you answer.
I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. I'm the middle child, but I have a twin brother, and my younger sister's 11 months younger than us. So we're very close in age. We always had people around. It was a very loud house, and luckily we had good neighbors who were very nice to us. And it just back then, a normal childhood, you would play out most of the day. In summer you would go out in the morning and you'd have to be back by dinner, and you just play in the neighborhood with other children.
Did you grow up? One of the questions in another grade is, are you originally from Michigan?
Yes, I'm from Coldwater, Michigan.
Life for me was very, very good. My family's awesome. I have 1 brother. I have a mother and a father, Charlie and Dixie. My dad is a golf professional, so we owned a golf course growing up, which was a lot of work and a lot of fun. And sometimes that the fun and the work, one or the other outweighed each other depending on the day. And we got in a lot of trouble. I know that. But life was good. I can't complain. I love my family.
All right.
I love my family too.
I had to get that in. I love you, Mom.
Okay, so random for Father Ryan, and I know Father Robert loves this, but how did you come up with the Stay Awesome thing?
Oh my gosh, that was so yeah.
This is from one of the 8th graders.
That happened at St. Thomas Aquinas in East Lansing. I was saying all school mass, and at the end of mass, I ended up kind of getting tripped up over my words, and I didn't know what to say, so I just said "Stay awesome," and then a couple of the parents came up and thought I did that intentionally during school, and the teachers hated me. I'm sure that the teachers here don't like it either, but it totally stuck, and it just kind of stuck ever since. So I attribute that to the Holy Spirit.
Not mental illness.
Because even yesterday when we had the kids say "Stay Awesome" for the picture with
What did the bishop say?
The bishop asked me, "What is that? What are they saying?" I said, "You got to talk to your priest, Bishop. That's his shtick."
Yeah. I have nothing to do with it.
Although I do hear Father Robert say it in the house. Stay awesome.
Can you do me a favor? From the other side of the house.
I think I would. If I did, it would be awesome.
That does make sense.
State of being.
Stay doesn't leave you much room for improvement. Be awesome leaves you room for improvement.
Father Robert, how many dogs do you have?
I only have 2 right now, but I've had as many as 4 at a time. That was too many. And 2 seems like a good number. It's Lana and Allie right now. So.
All right.
It's easy.
I thought you were going to say Father Ryan too.
Well, you have to know that there's a hierarchy in the rectory. And it's pastor's dogs, then the associate.
Yeah.
That's existed from, what?
Father Jim?
100 years.
Oh, 100 years.
I remember Father Jim talking about
That's
that.
in canon law somewhere, I think.
Oh, it's in canon law.
I think it's
I don't know if it's there, but it's how it works. It used to be when there was a live-in housekeeper that she was the head of the associate. But she was probably even above the pastor at that time.
So there, and I'm just because we're in this, you mentioned rectory. Somebody at some point asked, "Is the priest house like a normal house?"
No, it's like a monastery. We pray. We are in prayer, like rosary, liturgy hours, Bible study, 24/7. It's so holy in there.
Okay. Well, I would say it's kind of a cross between a normal home and, we're not related to each other. We have separate lives in a sense, so he goes and does his thing, I go and do my thing. We watch different television shows. If we're watching television, so it just depends who you are and what priests are living together.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of priests live on their own, and it's just like their own house or apartment. Of course we do pray, and we sometimes we do it together, sometimes we do it separately, depending on our schedule. I'd like to get up in the middle of the night because I'm old and I start to hurt, and so then I'll do my prayers in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And
This might shock the viewers that sometimes we get sick of each other too.
no, really?
And I'd be honest, COVID really just kind of messed everything up, as we know. And I think it even messed up just the life in the house a little bit because, when restaurants were open, we once in a while go grab dinner, but now it's just kind of whatever's in the house, eat in the house, and I'm just getting tired of being cooped up all the time.
And he's on a diet, so
He's not eating a salad.
I'm not eating salad. I have to, when I get my food, I hide so he doesn't get tempted.
Gotta keep him on that
I
diet.
had the peanut M&Ms.
Oh, so here's one from 8th grade. Speaking of diet, if you go to McDonald's, what do you order?
I don't like McDonald's.
There you go.
I would rather go to my favorite fast food, probably Wendy's, and I like their spicy chicken.
Huh?
Although I would say if I was still in East Lansing, it'd be Chick-fil-A.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big Chick-fil-A fan.
At McDonald's for me, it's always the McRib. So I might get food other times from McDonald's, but that's just because of convenience.
Convenience and necessity.
And other than that, I wait for the McRib.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep it out of the theological realm. Both fathers, do you like Cobra Kai?
I actually do. I grew up, I was young when Karate Kid first came out, and my sister had posters of Ralph Macchio on her walls. He was like the teen heartthrob. I remember that. But everyone watched the Karate Kid. It was very big then. And so now watching it now, it's just kind of a reminder of youth.
So like, back to like recreating living, your father's learning how to do that sweep. Remember from Karate Kid in the 80s? He's learning how to do the whole sweep. I love Karate Kid. My brother was a huge Karate Kid fan growing up. I like the movie. I watched a few episodes of Cobra Kai. But I think you've seen all 3 seasons, is that right?
I have.
You've seen all 3 seasons?
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm still maybe halfway through season 1.
So Father Ryan, is that one of the things that had to happen when you moved back here and moved in to the rectory with Father Robert? Did you have to do the did he
I was waxing on,
waxing off
Yeah,
to get into the mindset?
What did you have before your Equinox? you have what was that? White. It was like a white Hyundai.
Yeah, Tucson or...
Yeah, so my first year I was wax on, wax off. Yes, I do call him Mr. Miyagi.
I don't think... Are you supposed to wax cars now?
What's that?
Are you supposed to wax cars now?
I still do.
Do you? I've never waxed a car.
I did it for you.
I don't know. That's what we did growing up, so I just keep doing it. So we've been at this for, I don't even know, 20 minutes?
Oh, I got all day.
I don't.
Let's roll right through the staff meeting.
We'll bring the staff and they can answer questions.
Well, then now they know it's not Thursday we're doing this. It's actually Wednesday, but you know.
Thursday's my day off, so it had to be the day.
We're not live.
This
people.
is
We're not live.
pre-recorded. This is pre-recorded like the Groundhog Day yesterday. Did you see that?
That was pre-recorded.
They pre-recorded the one in New York. They pre-recorded. It was a bright sunny day, and they had a snowstorm the day on Groundhog Day, so it was obvious.
But it's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, there's one that they have them. Oh, the big one is in Punxsutawney.
Yeah.
But they have them all over. The city of New York pre-recorded it on a bright sunny day when the actual day was a snowy. So seeing your shadow versus not seeing your shadow, there's some big controversy on that.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't watch CNN anymore, so I miss the big stuff.
I just watch the important stuff.
Father, we're going to go back. We're going to go back to theology for a moment. We have a couple more minutes, I think. Couple more minutes. What is the most important sacrament? So.
Well, I think. Do you want to answer that first, or?
Well, I think baptism is the gateway to all sacraments.
Mm-hmm.
So without that, you can't be.
Yeah.
Can't have anything else. So if someone's dying, we're going to baptize them first.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
Yeah. I don't know that I would say one's more important than the other. Baptism, as Father Robert said, is the gateway to all sacraments. It's the first sacrament of initiation. And then the church says the Eucharist is the source and summit of our lives. So Going back to the first question, was that the first question about Mass? Is God not happy with us when we go to Mass or not go to Mass or
When we don't
something?
go to- yeah. Mhm.
Mass is important because the Eucharist is, like I said, as the church says, it's the source and summit of our Christian strength, of our life, so.
Okay.
Echo Father Robert and add that.
Let's go back to one of the original questions about when you became a priest. Why did you become a priest? What's your favorite part about being a priest?
None of it and all of it.
What do you mean by that?
Well, there's, like in anything, there's days that it just wears on you.
Uh-huh.
So just the routine can get, not monotonous is a bad word, but just the routine. Sometimes you just kind of need a vacation. You just need to get away.
Mm-hmm.
But I love all of it. I love hearing confessions. I love saying Mass. I like to preach. I like to be in the office. I love being with the staff. My favorite all-time thing to be about being a priest is the Catholic schools. It's Catholic Schools Week, and I loved that from the day I was in East Lansing here. So I pray to God wherever I'm at. We have just have a big Catholic school.
I agree in a sense with what Father Ryan said. Some of the things I love the most are the things that on days I don't love.
Yep.
When people are getting along and everything's, all rainbows and it's all wonderful. And then when people are fighting and not even disagreeing is one thing, but fighting, I'm like, what is this all about?
We have some dragouts too, don't we?
We only got one fight, and he finally admitted I was right. At least I think he did.
Yes, I did. We'll go with that.
It took a few years, but, and when God is able to use me in a way that I didn't think was possible, giving the right advice or consolation to people who are sad or in need, and I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? So just witnessing God working even in the not so good times.
And it's cool to see God working through people. And I'm going to echo, because I know people are watching this, maybe two, I don't know how many people are going to watch this. Father Robert has shined during COVID, I think, just with all of with the outdoor mass, with the screen, with all of the stuff that we've talked about in staff meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say that I hope people recognize it. Holy Redeemer last weekend, they were jealous of our outdoor screen. It's a phenomenal idea and it's drawing people in. So I hope people recognize that, because I think we do as a staff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I picked a great chair to sit in.
Oh, you got the broken one?
I got the broken one.
That's awesome.
I didn't.
They usually leave that for me.
How does as discerning vocations, you both discerned your vocation. So how does for the road to be a nun? Do you know how that is for any young woman discerning?
I can't speak to that based on experience.
Right.
I think it is similar to the process of being a priest.
I think if you felt a need, you feel a deep need to tell priests what to do, you become a nun.
Gosh, I don't want to say a name.
I'm just joking. I've worked with Sister Mary Ann for 20 years now, I think. In her day, it was women thought about being sisters and boys thought about being priests for a time. And she felt God calling her, and her wanting to help people kind of led her right into the convent. And she's been very effective and a wonderful source of help for people. And she was a principal. She's taught religious ed. She's helped people join the church. She helps with funerals and visits the sick. I mean, for working her part-time, she puts in a lot of time just being wherever she's needed.
I think with any vocation, Ignatius says that we have to look at what we want. What do we desire? And I remember Father Mark Tubes, he's a priest for the Diocese of Houma, Thibodaux, Louisiana. Say that 3 times fast.
Not going to.
He talks about when we pray, we got to pay attention to our desires, because what we think we desire might not be our deepest desire. So what is that we want? So like when I became a priest, I had to pray with that. What did I want? Did I want to be a priest? Because like Father Jones said, if you want to be, you can't just be a priest, you have to want to be a priest. Mm-hmm. So paying attention to your desires, I think for any woman or young woman who's thinking about entering the convent, has to pray just like we had to pray with what is it that you want. And then, for discerning a religious vocation in terms of women, every convent has their own charism. So there's different, like my friend, Sister Maria Regina, she's out in New York City, she's a Sister for Life, and their whole charism is the protection of life. So they're really big in the March for Life. They help a lot of unwed mothers. They have a lot of pregnancy centers. They try to counsel young women and couples into looking for alternatives from abortion. So they take a 4th vow. So the religious take vows of poverty, chastity, obedience, and they take a 4th vow of respect for life. So every order has their own charism. So I think it would take some time to investigate and do some research on where you think you're called to be.
So, a follow-up out of the 8th grade, do you wish you could get, not a follow-up to being a nun, because, you're a priest. But let's go back a couple questions. Do you wish you could get married?
Oh, that's
have children?
That's a good one.
I don't. There's things about having a family and a spouse that obviously would be wonderful, but it's a lot of work. I see families, struggle, and not even when bad things aren't happening to them. They parents are working, they're taking care of kids. When they're not doing that, they're worried about their kids. They, and as St. Paul reminds us, married people have to focus on being married and having families, and single people can focus on God a little easier and be more available and maybe be a little more selfish too. I don't need permission to do things, and so much.
Yes and no. I would say yes and no. I mean, there is something attractive about having a wife and a family. But I think a lot of people tend to think that living as a celibate priest is weird. But if you read Father referenced St. Paul in his letter, that he says some marry and some don't for the sake of the kingdom. So our lives as priests, because of our human weaknesses, we fall short. But our lives as priests should point others in the direction of God, in the direction of the kingdom. So us giving up a family and a wife is meant to be a sign in this life for others to say that there's more to come. Okay. There's more than what this life has to offer, that we're made for more than what we see or have here. That's not to say that priesthood is a higher vocation than marriage. Vocation is a vocation, and marriage and family is beautiful. Family, I hope the parents take this seriously, that the family is the domestic church, that it's the first place kids understand or have any experience of God is really through their parents. So I don't, yes and no, but I don't know how a priest could be married because I don't think it would be fair to the family because we're just too busy.
Right.
It would be,
There are some that can do it,
I can't,
but I don't, most of us, I don't think could.
no.
Right. So, just because the floor is yours, what's your favorite movie?
Caddyshack.
All time. Favorite movie?
Caddyshack and
Okay.
Ghostbusters.
Probably Saving Private Ryan.
Hmm.
I think that would be it. Besides the first 20 minutes, that was, I don't enjoy that part, but
But if they could take this old house and make it into a movie, like,
right now I'm watching YouTube videos on how to turn buses into campers, so.
Okay, so what's your favorite hobby?
golf.
Well,
Oh my gosh, that's you don't even have to ask.
Mine is whatever's new, you know, I go from one hobby to another. So, once I learn it and then realize that I'll never be the best at it, I move to a new one.
If I said weightlifting, do you think they would believe me?
I think so. Getting swole.
He's ripping out those vestments.
That's why they're open-sided for priests. Deacons have more fitted vestments, so.
That's fine. All right. Well, we've been at this for pretty much 30 minutes. There's a lot of questions here, but you know we have so
Save
little.
them.
We'll
Save
save
them.
them. Maybe
Save
we'll have
them.
to do this again sometime. So, Father Robert, Father Ryan, I thank you so much for
Quite welcome.
spending time today with us, but also for everything you do for the parish, everything you do for the church, in saying yes to Christ as part of this vocation that you're a part of. So, God bless you. Thank you so much, and the school, the church, we are very grateful for everything you do. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A with Father Robert, Father Ryan. Happy Catholic Schools Week.